In 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to Deck Talk Podcast. We have a great episode for you today. I am Colin Burnett.
And I am Norman Lee. Wow, what's up, fellas and ladies? Colin, we have a pretty special episode tonight. Uh,
Yes, it's
I'm
been an episode I've been looking forward to.
exactly, man. I am really excited about this episode. We have our guest on tonight is I've known this dude for about 5, 6 years now, and great guy. But we have Don Morse on, and Don is the founder of a foundation called Autism Anglers. And Autism Anglers is actually a foundation that helps children with autism, helps get them on the water to kind of use as therapy. Don, how are you doing, my man? What's going on?
I'm doing great, but not usually people saying they're looking forward to talking to me. So
Oh
Yeah,
man.
we talked to you. I know I met you at last year's iCast and got to talk to you a little bit, and and which it kind of like, which people really don't know, like unless it really hits them about autism and stuff like that. They might actually have somebody in the family that they might not know that has some kind of autistic ability or something like that. But I had a second cousin that had autism, but she passed away. She actually, her mom was getting her ready for a bath, and they had her in the bathtub, and her mom walked out, and she slid down into the tub and actually drowned. Um, but but with that being said, I mean, is in on my side of the family and stuff like that. But so we we deeply appreciate what you're doing to help out, um, because it's almost like a therapy, isn't it, for them to be able to go out, just like it is for us to be able to be out at the water and fishing, and it helps them out, right?
yeah, absolutely. Working with vets groups about 10 years ago, doing doing fishing therapy with them. And once I found out my son was on the spectrum and founded this, I thought, well, if it works for vets with PTSD, it's got to work for kids and adults with autism spectrum, and it does. Like you said, and most everybody it knows has a family, a friend with a child or a friend with autism, because it really affects about 1 in 42 people. So
Yeah,
Right,
yeah.
right.
I know myself. We have a couple children in our family. As a matter of fact, two of my grandchildren, have some form of autism. So it's in our family, and people don't realize it. I think there's a percentage like 95% of families have some form of autism in their family.
yeah, definitely a thing, and it's always been that way. You hear more about it now because we understand more about it, and it um, all the different Asperger's and all the different forms of autism and combine them into one spectrum. So that's why you do hear a little bit. It helps and hurts at the same time, because now everything is a broad focus. So all the research to find out what causes it, what may help it, what therapies will help, are pretty broad. Covering a broad of what people's abilities, or, and I don't use the word disability, but the hindrances, or what may affect their. So it's made it better for awareness, but it's made it harder to try to help.
Yeah, exactly,
Right.
exactly, man. We're going to back up a little bit. We're going to be talking uh, pretty in depth here about autism anglers tonight, and kind of what it's all about, what the foundation does, and how you out there as the public could get involved with the foundation as well. But I want to back up a little bit before we start talking about the autism anglers, and I want to talk to you about. I was on the phone with you yesterday, I think it was, or a couple days or yesterday, and you done a fishing trip. I think you said with a mutual friend, um, and you caught some pretty good fish, including a fish that you sent me a picture of that looked like a giant tarpon. Uh,
Yeah, absolutely.
I got
uh,
it on the screen right now.
there you
So
go. Yeah,
yeah,
everybody's looking at that giant tarpon he caught, man. Tell us a little bit about that fishing trip. That looked like a fun day for you.
Absolutely, yeah, 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 yeah. First tarpon trip was about almost exactly a year ago, and I went out and landed a 100 pounder, and back out ever since to get a bigger one. So I was able to take a trip down yesterday to Boca Grande Pass in South Florida, and it was rough. It was a rough day. We had a lot of hookups, jumped a lot of fish, saw a lot of fish caught, but it was hard keeping them on. At the end of the day. That big girl there gave me about a 20-minute fight, estimating about 150 pounds. So
yeah.
yeah, my biceps are still a little sore.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
that's
I
one
can
thing I've
understand
never
that.
been lucky enough to catch is a tarpon. I always wanted to go out there and target some tarpon. Living down in Florida, they catch tarpon all the time down south of us, where I actually lived, but never got the opportunity, man. I watch it on TV all the time, and it looks like a blast hooking up with one of those giants. I actually watch them fly fishing for them. Of course, I'm assuming the fly fishing they do for tarpon is a little bit different than you're used to when you talk about fly fishing. Probably a lot bigger tackle, a lot bigger rigs, a lot bigger flies. But yeah, it looks like a lot of fun.
Yeah, way different. I've caught almost 100 different species of fish now, and there's
Wow.
nothing like the tarpon. It stands out on its own. Just
Yeah,
they're just all muscle and no quit.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we were on vacation, and my dad and I set up a fishing trip to go catch some tarpon because I told him, I said, I just want one. I just want to catch one. That's all I want to do because we would go deep sea fishing. And I told him, I just want to catch a tarpon. That's all I want to do. Well, we get down there, and it was right after they had like a tropical storm come through, and it said that it pushed them out, and so we went and we caught like king mackerel. But I was I was excited about that, but then I was also ticked off because the bottlenose dolphin kept on eating the mackerel. About time it gets about 15, 20 yards from the boat, you just see them come up, whoo, and just take them. And I'm like, man, we brought back so many just heads of them, just where they just come by and just chomped them.
Oh yeah, when I get the salt water out on the boat, and they love seeing the dolphins, and I absolutely hate it because being an inshore guy mostly, if the fish are not.
Right.
Yeah.
So what? So did y'all catch anything else? Did y'all just go out there for the tarpon yesterday?
Yeah, just tarpon. A lot of times when we go out, we'll go for tarpon, and then we'll go inshore, catch some snook. Like I said, it was a tough bite yesterday, so we stayed out. We were on the water for 12 hours, and yeah, it was the old boat, but we jumped about 10 of them, and we had an 8/0 trocar hook break on one, 80-pound
Wow.
test leader on another. I mean, it was insane.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's crazy, man. That's crazy.
Well, we were talking about the when was it last week? We had Mike Lindell on, and he's from the Everglades, and so we were talking about going and throwing top water at some peacock bass. But I can just imagine having a tarpon on and seeing nothing but silver just come up and just
Oh wow,
that
that
Oh
would
yeah,
be
when a 100+ pound fish comes flying out of the water 4 feet, everybody pays attention.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
Yeah, that's
catches your
insane
eye
too.
for sure.
That's insane too to watch them big tarpon come flying out of the water, man. And that's when you wish you had the video camera going.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So, guys, we want to let you know though, if you're on Facebook, smash that like button as many times as you would like. More the merrier. The Facebook likes it's going to push it out to more people. But also go to Deck Talk Podcast on YouTube and hit that subscribe button. It is growing, and we will probably Norman don't know this, but soon as we hit that first 100 mark, we're going to be giving a giveaway to our subscribers on that. So we want to make sure that you are hitting that subscribe button on Deck Talk Podcast. Um, but other than that, Don, who is your inspiration for doing the Autism Angler? Did you have, besides your son, did you have somebody else in your family that has autism, or is it just primarily just your son?
Son, so Landon is by far, he is the reason Autism Angler exists. He just turned 11 in March, and I knew absolutely nothing about autism. I mean, if somebody says anything about autism, before Landon, all I could think about was Rain Man, and that's not the case at all. I mean,
Right,
not even
right,
close. Yeah, he is my hero for sure. Is absolutely amazing. He, nothing. Uh, Nobody bothers him. He has his he has things like that, but I mean, he's a brave kid, and he doesn't care what anybody thinks. He just does his thing in his own world. So I love
right.
being a part of that world.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's special to be able to be a part of uh, that world with them. So,
Yeah.
and
Absolutely.
with what you're doing, you're actually helping people that may not know about autism, or they might think like what you did before your son, think of Rain Man, and um, you're opening eyes to other people, even like when at ICAST, because what we seen you at the American Tackle booth, but just talking about it, and which everybody knows if they see that reel that has the puzzle piece reel, if they see it, uh, they know what it's about. But how you go out and you make it to where you help people understand it a lot better. And that's one thing that I appreciated, and that you was just so you're so welcoming to have people talk to you, because a lot of people um, they don't really. It's almost like they're embarrassed, and they shouldn't be embarrassed. They should be proud of what their child is doing, or their family member is able to do. Um, and which people think that it, with being autism, that it's a disability, but when you sit back and think about it, it's really not a disability. It's just kind of just a different way of doing things, correct?
And that's it. I mean, you almost hit the phrase perfectly. You see the phrase. It's not a disability. It's a different. And it really is true. Another thing that said, and I use it a lot. When you met one person with autism, you met one autism, because every single person is different. The way it affects them. What their likes and dislikes are. What their I mean, just everything about them is completely different. Now, there's no two cases the same. So.
Exactly, exactly.
Now, with Autism Anglers, Don, let's get in a little bit about the foundation, man. Let's talk a little bit about Autism Anglers. What is it? How does it work? What does Autism Anglers do? And let's talk a little bit about it. And when did was Autism Anglers formed? When did you start it? And let everybody know kind of what Autism Anglers is.
7 years ago, Landon was diagnosed as being on the autism spectrum, and like I said, I knew absolutely nothing about it. But the only thing I fishing and anglers. Ever since my very first job was selling fishing gear and hunting gear when I was 16 years old. Of it. And I've worked for some of the big box stores. I've worked for mom and pop shops, but always in the hunting and fishing industry. I've been fishing since I was young. So everybody I know, is an angler, and I know that, fishing is actually just participation sport in the United States. So to reach out to that many people, with something like this, really sparked my interest. So right away, we just celebrated our as an official entity. On Landon's birthday, March 25th, was our 5th year anniversary. Going through COVID was really tough, but we're back and trying to get things started again. But really, it started for me to tell the anglers that I knew what I was learning about autism as I was learning. I didn't have anybody else to tell. They're like, this is great information. My friends, this is great information. And so the Autism Anglers idea came about when I was talking to somebody. You should, make this public. You should go and have a nonprofit organization. That really never even came across my mind before that. So I had 12 buddies that helped fund the whole thing to get it started. It's pretty expensive to get it. I'm a custom rod builder as well, so I built 12 matching custom rods, numbered 1 through 12, with their names on them, and that's the funds we used to start the foundation. We wanted to be legal right away, so everybody knew, it's just not so Bob taking money, putting it in his pocket, and saying he's doing things. So, we wanted to make sure that we were legal with the state, we were legal with states. We became the 501c3 before I even started advertising. So. What we do, original plans was just spread the word of autism to anglers, what it really is. Immediately I had people reaching out and say, hey, I got extra tab, a kid or somebody on the spectrum that you can give this to. So that started our Awesome Anglers program, and that's how I got hooked up with Norm. Giving tackle. Okay, now we're running out of tackle. We've got people wanting tackle. So our Awesome Anglers program, over the last 4.5 years, we've sent out over 5,000 pounds of fishing tackle free of charge to Spectrum.
Heck yeah.
That's awesome.
So, with that being said, guys, Norman and I, have talked to our local bait shops, Jack's Bait and Tackle, Talking Tackle, and Fishtails, and we've got it set up to where we've got an excuse for you to be able to tell your wife you need a new reel, you need new tackle, because they are going to be a drop-off center for us. And when we go to ICAST, we want to be able to go down with a bunch of rods, bunch of tackle and stuff like that, and give to Don at ICAST. So, and ICAST is July 11th is when we are leaving. So,
cutoff date, like the 10th. Just put the 10th on there as a cutoff date, July 10th.
Yeah. Well, we'll do July 10th as a cutoff, and we will go around, pick up all the stuff from the different bait and tackle. But we want to be able to help out as much as possible.
And also, if you're not local and not in the area where Talking Tackle, Jack's Bait and Tackle, or Fishtails is, you can message myself or Colin as well, and we'll kind of tell you if you have anything to donate to Autism Anglers, we'll tell you how you could get it to us as well.
Exactly. And we got Sean Hunt says, I have a son with autism. I am also an angler. I fish BASS and the KBT, and I really appreciate what you guys do for autism, Don. So he appreciates it.
Yes, sir.
So that's
Amen.
good
Amen
to
on that.
that's
Yes,
good to
sir.
see. Um, and then uh, John Pate says, "Great to hear this good man support autism. Most people out there do not understand it or know about it. Keep up the great work."
Thanks, John.
Yeah,
Then
yeah. Thank you very much.
And then after scrolling up a little bit, Michael Lindell that we was telling you about that's from the
Yeah,
Everglades. He
and
says,
before you comment on Mike's, because I'm not sure what he's going to say on that comment, but I want to send a big thank you to Mike Lindell because the last, well, the first time we done this drive, actually I done it through the bait and tackle shop that I was part owner in. Mike Lindell actually donated a whole mess. I mean, the bundle of rods he donated, you couldn't even grip with your arm. So, Mike Lindell, thank you for
yeah,
that too, brother. I'm not sure what you're going to comment, but Mike Lindell came through big for us on the last drive about 5 years ago that we done for Autism Anglers.
yeah. Well, he was going to comment on back on the talking about the tarpon. He says Makos will wear you out also.
I
Oh,
bet.
yeah.
So let's see. I had another question on here.
Also,
If I can
you
find
had to get the tournament angler. Anybody that's a tournament angler and use our logo on their jerseys. Most of the jersey companies have that, and I have given permission for them to print them on jerseys, wraps. Any way we can get the logo out there in front of more anglers, the better.
That's
yeah.
good. And
That's what
myself and Colin are
Norman.
get our new jerseys made, so that's good to know. We'll definitely get the logo on our jersey to in support of Autism Anglers. So that's great to know.
Yeah. So
You find that other comment?
hold on.
I tell you what, while Colin's looking
I
for
had
that other comment, I want to go back a little bit, Don. We're talking a little bit about now anglers actually helps get the children that are affected with autism. It helps them get them on the water. It helps them get them out there in the outdoors, in the nature, to catch fish. But fishing is kind of a common therapy, wouldn't you say, for children with autism? It helps with uh, a therapy as far as getting them out on the water to fish.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, in the past, we've given out tackle advice as well. If anybody needs advice on, safety or, how to get their involved in fishing, or even adults. I mean, adults are also affected by autism and also need that therapy. A lot of advice. One of the new things we're doing is what we're calling awesome fishing. We're actually going to be pairing up awesome anglers with guides to get them and an adult out on the water for a great fishing trip. But I mean, it helps with motor skills. But the biggest thing is it helps you clear your mind. Most autists have something that they focus on heavily. And this is a way for them to get out of that focus for even a short period. And like I said, I had seen it with soldiers with PTSD, and they're hyper focused on something that bothers them obsessively, and it just rewires their brain. And I mean, the fresh air helps, the vitamin D from the sun helps. Thinking about something else really is the biggest goal of this. So.
right. I found it the question, but I also got another question also. Um, the first question is, so do you try to teach them like on bank fishing, or do you try to get them out into a boat?
So we haven't been able to do any live events or anything at all, but it's wherever they're comfortable. We have safety rules that we definitely follow and preach for either way, bank fishing or boat fishing.
Right.
Bank fishing is by far safer in most states. Florida, maybe not, but most states, bank fishing is. So we look at that a lot. Boat fishing, as long as it's done correctly and everybody on boards, the different safety rules. Because you do have somebody with special needs in the boat, we're looking at, flotation, on making sure there's no barbs on hooks, making sure that you're completely focused on the autistic angler and fish yourself. Finding a place to go where there's a lot of fishing action. It doesn't matter if it's 3 inches or if you go out on a reef and catch months all day, as long as there's constant action and help. And that's the biggest thing to keep them and to help with that brain activity.
Yeah.
Exactly. Another thing, a question was, what condition does the equipment have to be in for it to be useful?
So we take new and shipment. Tackle is the biggest thing for us. We have, I've sent out half bags of plastics. Good shape crankbaits that come in just loose. I'll rebag them. Make sure the hooks are good on them. When it comes rods are a little bit tougher to send. We will send some rods out. Two-piece stuff we can send easier. I don't know if you're all the shipping companies have been outrageous with their shipping prices, so that's tough. Being a custom rod builder and American Tackle, I have a whole group of guys that will take the rods and refurbish them. So if there's guides missing, we'll put new guides on them. We'll spiff them up and we'll give them away at events. We try to send some out, but mostly when we go to a live event, we give out rods.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
because
was one of
that
the
shipping
questions I
on
was
them
gonna,
rods
yeah,
are
that's one of the
expensive.
questions I was going to ask Don is as far as the rods are concerned, you do have somebody that actually, if there's guides missing, somebody donates some rods and they have eyes missing on a couple of them, they still go ahead and donate them, and you do have somebody that can put eyes on them before you
Absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah, American Tackle donates all the part, and then, like I said, all the rod builders around here are more than willing to take them and rewrap guides on them and get them out in their hands.
Okay, good deal.
That is awesome. Now, oh, shoot. Now, is
When it comes,
there? Do you have like an event? Let's see. Let's see. How is it? Do you have an event that maybe that people can come and help join with you that's coming up?
so that's something that we're working on. COVID kind of killed all of our in-person ideas. We had a lot of. I was working with some of the, and we were working on all the in-person ideas, and about 3 years of that just squashed. So we're working on getting that started into the summertime right now here in Florida. But we are working with UCF Card and a couple other programs where we'll be doing some in-person event when it cools down later in the year. We'll be doing fishing derbies through what the UCF Card program is fantastic. 40,000 families in the greater Orlando area. So that'll be a good jumping off point for us and give us a lot of ideas to take this in industries. So when we do those events, we will definitely be looking for help with that, and we will post that on all of our social media. You can find us anywhere. You type in Autism Anglers on any search, and you'll find all of our social media websites. It comes up really quick. So we'll
Yeah.
definitely be
Yeah, that's what I was about to ask you next. Was how can people see what y'all are doing, what y'all have going on, and be able to reach out to you? Because if they're not in the Chattanooga area, which we've got people from all over the United States that watch this, and like we've had people from Puerto Rico watching. Had somebody a couple of weeks ago that was from, I think, Greenland or Iceland or somewhere way away from here.
We've
That
actually had people from New Zealand as well.
Yeah, New Zealand, and so. Uh, which, if they're trying to ship a rod from New Zealand or something like that, that's going to cost them a penny.
Oh yeah.
But again, it's like what you said, it's not all about the rods. It's also about uh, maybe a pack of worms that you bought that you's like, oh, I'm gonna catch some fish, and then you really didn't like it. Just just drop them off at Jack's Talking Tackle or Fishtails, and we will make sure that it gets to them. And because we know it's going to get into a good hand, and I guarantee you, I get happy when I get new bait, but I can just imagine how they feel when they get, even if it's just plastic worms, how they feel like, oh my goodness, they just get so excited.
Oh yeah,
So
yeah. We get lots of pictures, and like I said, my wife and I run the organization, and we tell everybody we get paid with smiles because we get at pictures, we get letters, we get drawings and videos. I mean, it's absolutely amazing. Every time I get goosebumps right now just thinking about it. But every time, it makes our hearts happy, and that's what keeps us going.
yeah,
And like Norman said before, we had done this drive, and they even put the box like next to a sale rack, and people were just buying stuff, and throwing it in
just
the bin.
drop it.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
actually had a box of stuff for customers to buy, and when they bought it, a percentage of that sale, we done it as with the store. A percentage of the sale was immediately donated to Autism Anglers. So there's a lot of different ways that tackle shops could get involved. Not doesn't necessarily have to be Jack's Bait and Tackle, Fishtails, or Talking Tackle. There's
Yeah,
a lot of different ways that the other bait shops could get involved by helping out with the cause and doing something on their own and then getting it to us so we could get it to Don, in July. So there's a lot of different ways that you could do it.
absolutely, absolutely. And we're always looking for different. Always overrun with soft plastics, of course, because that's what most of us use. We're always short on things like hooks and sinkers and bobbers and tools, a fishing line, things like that. We try to make sure that the box is full of a lot of different things. So even with our donations, if on crankbaits, we'll take a couple $100. We'll go down to the Bass Pro Shops or the local tackle store, and we'll just buy a cart full of stuff to stuff in those boxes. But and
that is
like you
awesome.
said before, and reaching out to us is really easy. I mean, autismangler.org. On Facebook, Autism Angler is what we use the most. We have an Instagram page, which I try to use more, and looking to expand our, YouTube. But yeah, I mean, if you type in Autism Anglers, you'll find us quick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
exactly. Follow them on
and
Facebook too. Also, social media outlets. Don, I know you're on Facebook. Are you on any other social media outlets?
Facebook and Instagram is what we use. We have pages on Twitter, but I don't use it. When I get when I clone myself, I'll have somebody to run the social media side. But yeah, right now Facebook and Instagram are most.
That's great. Yeah, make sure to follow them on Instagram and Facebook then, and that'll also keep you posted on what they got coming up and what they're doing.
Absolutely.
Colin's thinking.
I'm trying to.
Don't hurt
There was a
yourself.
question that's like that said that they had a cousin that just like what you were saying, that their cousin, that you could see the joy and happiness that they had, and they said just seeing that smile is worth more than anything that you could give them. So
Absolutely.
Yeah, but yeah, going back to the two kids in our family, my one grandson, which actually lives really close to us. I've got him out in the boat quite a few times since I've been up here in Tennessee permanently now, and it's awesome. Every time we've been out with Gage, we've caught him and caught him big. And there's nothing better than that smile on his face when we're holding up pictures at the end of the day, and big old smiling grin on his face. So that's awesome. And our other grandson, they're down in Orlando, but yeah, they're just great kids, and But yeah, the smiles is just what makes it all worthwhile when you take them out and holding that fish and just seeing how their eyes light up. You know.
Absolutely.
Oh goodness, we've got about 60 people on here, so that's why I was trying to see because it tells me like who's watching and stuff like that, and so I got to scroll through, make sure I don't miss anybody that has. So, Don, how does uh, does your son enjoy being able to? Does he like to get out? And like what you said, it doesn't really matter the size of the fish, but uh, has what's the biggest fish that he's caught? That
Yeah, so his biggest fish actually a never caught before. He caught about a 5 pound tilapia.
Wow.
So just yeah, I've caught almost 100 species of fish, and I've never caught a tilapia. So he's got one up on me. So,
That's
but
awesome.
and it's like and everybody on the spectrum is different. He doesn't really enjoy fishing. He will go out every once in a while with me. But other things that he's preoccupied with. So we don't force him to do it. If he wants to go, he lets me know. And but yeah, he's got other things that he loves to do. He wants to be a YouTuber. So. And he loves being on video. So if you join us on Facebook, a lot of lives, and he just absolutely love it. And he always sings a song at the end, and so he sometimes he even takes request.
Yeah, that's pretty
that is
cool.
awesome. My dad said mine is frozen, so I gotta see what I can if I can fix that.
Yeah, at least we can hear you.
Yeah.
Yeah, at least we got audio. That's what I was kind of.
Yeah, we have a couple things going on right now as well. So when you go to our Facebook page or our website, autismanglers.org, be sure to take a look at the kayaks tab. We have Feel Free Kayaks actually donated custom color kayaks for us in the autism awareness colors. One we're raffling off, and the other one we are to an angler on the spectrum. So absolutely, no charge for entry, none of that at all. All we ask for is a picture, and somebody's going to win that kayak. So yeah, check that out for sure. We're going to give those away in September. We raffled one, gave one away, and it was crazy because the kid that won the one was local. I was able to deliver it in person, and just we surprised him. He didn't know I was coming. I showed up at the door, and he recognized me from the live videos, and he looked in the back of my truck back, and was just blown away.
Oh, and say one more time. How does anybody want to get involved in that contest? How do they do that again?
Yeah, so just go to autismanglers.org, and at the top of the page, there's a tab that says kayaks. Just tap on that, and you'll see where you can read it for the larger boat. And then down at the bottom, you'll see an email address that you can send a picture and a short story.
A short story. Awesome.
That that is awesome. Let's see. Maybe because now I got full signal to what it's showing, so maybe that will work.
And I see you moving around on my screen now.
Yeah. I haven't. I'll wait to see if my dad messaged. My dad's the one that said that I'm frozen.
Yeah.
I'm surprised he didn't say your ugly mug broke the camera again.
You're right.
So, um, yeah, I can only imagine just seeing the faces of when you pulled up, just seeing his face when with that kayak in the back. Once he realized it, I could just imagine that'd be awesome.
It was
Did
still
you?
wrapped.
Did you?
It was still wrapped in the plastic, so we pulled it in the garage and unwrapped it, and he just jumped right in it and just couldn't wait to get out on the water.
That's cool.
did, did you film that?
I did not. I was actually alone, and it was rainy and dark. I got some pictures of it. We put some pictures up, but it was funny too because he saw me standing on the front porch, and he goes, "Where's Landon?" And he was expecting Landon to be with me, but he got over there real quick when he saw the kayak.
That's awesome. Do you yourself do a lot of kayak fishing?
So I started kayak fishing 2 years ago. Yeah, so not as much as I want to, but I really got into it. Some of the kayak groups down here held a couple of events for us, and just getting to know those guys and gals and the tight knit community drew me right in. So yeah, I've got a feel free Dorado out here in the garage and always upgrading. So.
Yeah, kayak fishing's getting really, really big now. There's more anglers and more tournaments with kayak fishing now. They actually even have the Bassmaster Classic this year. They had the kayak Bassmaster Classic for kayak fishermen, for professional kayak fishermen. So
Oh, that was cool.
yeah, that was insane, wasn't it, Colin?
Yeah.
But kayak fishing's getting really huge, which love to see that, but yeah, and I have a couple friends that also kayak fish quite often. But yeah, it's getting pretty big out there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I enjoy it when I get out, and my goal for this coming season is to get out a little bit more. Again, Florida, our season's weird. We start fishing in November, December, and then we stop in April, May, where everybody else just starts fishing in April, May. So, but yeah, I'm looking forward to know I can get out a little more.
Yeah.
Yeah. Amanda Quint says that you look like you're concentrating really hard. So
She
at
must
You are
least it
still
looks like
frozen.
I'm doing something instead of like picking my nose or something like that.
Yeah, you felt the ground shake when he starts thinking.
Yeah,
Feel
smoke starts coming out my
feel
ears.
the earth tremors going through when that brain starts functioning.
So
Absolutely.
let's see. What if you could have anybody to be on a boat, or let's say since you kayak fish, to be in a kayak right next to you fishing for a day that is living or that have passed, who would it be and why would you want them out fishing with you?
I would have to say my pops, and my not my real dad, but actually my best friend's dad. My father passed away when I was young, and he kind of be dad, and he took me fishing and hunting. He's the one that taught me how to build custom fishing rods almost 30 years ago. I've been on the boat with him, and we just always have a blast. I mean, so if I could, he lives in Michigan. We don't get to see each other very often, but anytime I can get on the boat with him, it's definitely the highlight of my year.
Yeah, yeah, we've asked that question to a lot of uh, a lot of anglers and just different people that has come on the podcast, and we've had a lot of people when we were at the classic doing the media day. A lot of people said like their grandfather or something like that. We did have a couple people say Greg Hackney
Larry Nixon came
was
up a couple times.
the what?
Larry Nixon came up a couple
Oh
times.
yeah, Larry Nixon. Them two were kind of the two that they wanted in there, um, just to be able to pick their brains
Yeah,
on how they do things and stuff.
yeah.
But we did have Corey Johnson, which he's a Canadian, and he said that he wanted his brother, which his brother fishes with him in the Elite Series. He wanted his brother to where he can whoop up on his brother in the boat and make fun of him.
His exact
Nice.
words were he wanted his brother on the boat with him so he could kick his ass.
That was his exact words. But
There you go.
I'm sure we're allowed to say
so
ass on film.
Yeah, I think
yeah,
so.
I mean, yeah. But we've had quite a few. A lot of people take it to where it is somebody that sentimental to them, as in family, or even in your case, somebody that was like a dad to you. Um, but I got that question uh, asked, or I seen that question asked to. Oh shoot! It was on
Baseball player, wasn't
Ken
it?
Burns. He does like documentaries, and he done one on baseball, and he asked um, one of the person that he was asked or interviewing. It was a ball player, and asked him, said, if you could sit on a bench and talk to and just have a conversation with anybody, who would it be, and why would you want to talk to them? And so I've always I wanted my whole when I first heard that, I was like, I would want to sit on the bench and just talk to Buck O'Neill, which he was one of he done like the Negro baseball leagues, and talking or just seeing him talk about baseball and his experience with baseball. He always had a smile and his eyes lit up, and I was like, that would be somebody cool to. To be able to talk to and just hear like just past experiences with what he had had to go through. But Norm and I were talking, and we're like, we need to have like a question that we can ask everybody. Um, and since we're doing fishing, so we kind of turned it into a fishing question. So that's where that came from.
Yeah.
That's great. That's great. I
So
was on a
we
podcast
actually ask
one.
that yeah, we actually ask that question to everybody that comes on the podcast now.
Yeah.
Who were they went on the boat?
I was on a podcast one time, and one of their questions, the opening questions, was, "How many times do you wear your blue jeans before you walk?"
Yeah.
Yeah. So
So the ground's starting to shake
I
again.
think
Wheels starting to turn.
somebody asked, like, how much baits and stuff do you think that, and which I think you've already kind of answered it earlier on, said, how much baits do you think that y'all gave away last year um, with Autism Anglers?
Yeah, so we've been averaging, anywhere from 500 to 1,500 pounds of tackle a year. As far as number of boxes, I mean, it's man. I mean, one year we sent out over 1,000 boxes. We try to average them in a pound and a half to 2 pounds of tackle a piece. So some years we give out more than
Wow.
others. It depends on how many applicants we have. Right now we are about 30 boxes behind because we're out of stuff and we need to make it store. I've got a garage full of soft plastics, but I need to go and pick up some other things. So we'll get caught up on those too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So guys, just I mean, you heard it straight from his mouth. They could use some more tackle, um, and it sounds like you've got enough plastics, right? You could
We
really
always we always
use.
we always get 20 bags of plastics to every hard bait. So we've always got lots of plastics.
Yeah.
Right. So let's try to just get them a bunch of bobbers, bunch of hooks, bunch of sinkers, line, and whatever. Even if you're not in the Chattanooga area, look them up on social media, contact them, and and just ship it out there to them. I mean, because I imagine we can. If you contact us, we can get a address to where you can ship it to them,
Ship it directly.
or you can contact them on social media, and you can do it that way. But
Yeah,
let's load up
absolutely. The
your
the mailman
garage.
knows us well.
Yeah, and me as an angler, I could attest to this. I go out in the garage there, and any fisherman for that matter, go out into your garage, and I'm sure there's bags of And it doesn't have to be new bags. It could be a bag you bought that you used two baits out of and found it didn't work for you, and you got them left, and you probably never use them again.
Yeah.
So instead of having a yard sale, putting them in the yard sale, just donate them to a good cause where they could really be used by people that could use them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
open your tackle
And
boxes.
that's what.
How many hard baits do you have in your tackle box that you threw one time, didn't catch anything on it, but you still take it
Yeah.
out with you. So it's time
Yeah.
to open up a spot for something
Yeah.
different.
Yep.
Or even if you really want to kind of push that button a little bit, Don, how many of y'all got hard plastics that you bought thinking that it looks good, but it never left your tackle box?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, so I know everybody has got some kind of baits and stuff like that. Even if you went and you bought some, let's say some P line that you really uh, did not care for, or I won't call out P line, but let's if you got some line that you did not care for or something like that, or you only used half a spool, send it. Let's get
Yeah.
it. We'll get everything. And again, if you're in the Chattanooga area, we got the three drop off places, and you can always contact Norman and myself, and we will meet you. Be more than glad to meet
Yeah.
up with you. And because I'm Norman, I'm looking forward to filling up the back of your Tundra
Yes,
to
yes. Let's go
when.
down. Let's go down with a truckload, and uh, be proud to be able to meet up with Don down there, Lycast, and hand him all the stuff that we gather up. So get involved, guys. It's a good
Yeah,
cause. And it's a great foundation that Don started, and it's helped Don out, help autism anglers out. With kids like Don's son, get them on the water, help them use, fishing as therapy. If it could help the kids out, let's get involved 100%. And like Colin said, holler at myself, call and message us. Also, contact Don through their email. And what is the email again, one more time, Don?
So the best email is autismanglers@yahoo.com.
All right, awesome. Autismanglers at yahoo.com. And
yep,
get on there, message Don. He'll get back to you and let you know. If you want to ship them direct, if that's easier for you, you could get the shipping information from Don that way. But great cause, get involved. And again, Jack's Bait and Tackle, locally Jack's Bait and Tackle. In Chattanooga, Fishtails Bait and Tackle in Cleveland, Tennessee, and also Talk and Tackle in Hickson, Tennessee. There are 3 drop-off points if you're local as well.
yeah. So I just put up the picture of your family, Don, and it looks like your boy has been eating a Smurf with that blue tongue.
Yeah, who knows what he was eating? But that looks like probably Disney. So.
So again, guys, we want to help out and support them as much as possible. So let's make a let's see, stuff I can't use for my pole loaner. Uh, so Don, Amanda Quint said that she will be mailing you something. So I guess she's going to contact you, and that she will be
Awesome.
mailing you
That's
something.
awesome. Thank you, Amanda.
Thank
Um,
you. Thank you.
and my brother-in-law is on here. He always has the same exact question, and well, he also has two questions. First question is, is there somewhere where he can get that hat?
Absolutely. These are available on our website, autism, and then click into the shop. We've got lots of hats. We've got camo hats. We've got shirts. We've got decals. We've got ink, all the cool stuff. So we're always restocking the hats because they go fast.
Yeah. So, Jonathan, you heard that. Um, Go to their website and buy you two hats, one for you and one for me. So,
Go.
and so, but his next question that he always asks, and he's got a hat that says "No Pro," but I bring the snacks. So his question is, what is your when you're out fishing? What is your snack of choice that you like to eat out on the water?
Yeah. So when I go out fishing, I always have water with me and granola. I don't. I don't eat much or drink much out there, but yeah, water and granola bars.
Yeah. Hey Norman, he kind of sounds like Shaw Grisby saying that, doesn't
Yeah,
he?
right. That's the exact same thing. Too.
Yeah, that is exactly what Shaw said. Um, well,
Colin
Jonathan
just
said he's ordering one right now, so y'all
good
gonna be
Awesome.
shipping one to
deal.
Chattanooga. So,
Good deal.
well,
Janine ships out every day, so I guarantee you'll have a tracking number before noon.
Good deal.
yeah.
Awesome,
So,
Jonathan. Thank you,
uh,
Jonathan.
yeah, well, him and I both worked for Little Debbie. Um, so he asked if you like some Sunbelt, the
Oh
Sunbelt granola
yeah,
bars.
love
Okay.
Sunbelt.
Well, I'm gonna get in contact with you. Um, I'll I'll send you a text message or something, and I'll make sure when we come down the iCast that I'll bring you some fresh Sunbelt because
Awesome.
that's part of the stuff that we deliver.
Oh, that's great. No,
So,
yeah, that's my. In fact, we probably got a cupboard full of it because my wife eats them too. So,
so hey Norman, we are sitting right at an hour, and this guy right here had been to Powdersville, South Carolina, left at last night, didn't get back till about 12:45, and I have not taken a nap yet. So I'm tired and I'm hungry because I'm a fat guy. And but Norman, let's talk a little bit real quick. What do we got going on next week?
All right, guys. Next week, make sure you tune in to Deck Talk Podcast again next Thursday, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every week. But our guest next week, we got an exciting show coming up next week. We have host of the TV show A Fishing Story with Ronnie Green. Mr. Ronnie Green himself is going to be our guest on next week. So tune in. You don't want to miss it. We got a lot of stuff to talk about with Ronnie. Good friend of mine. I've known Ronnie for over 10 years, and we're going to go into some depth detail with Ronnie on his television show, including a lot of other stuff that Ronnie has going on, and a lot of interesting stuff about Ronnie that you might not know before Ronnie actually started doing the fishing television show as well. So tune in next Thursday. You don't want to miss it at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with a fishing story, Ronnie Green.
Heck yeah. So, guys, again, we want y'all to go to YouTube and look up Deck Talk Podcast. Let's hit that subscribe button. And as soon as we hit that first 100, Norman and I are going to have a giveaway that we're going to give to one of the first 100 subscribers. So we're wanting to try to grow that channel, and eventually, again, we will be going strictly not. It's going to be strictly on the YouTube channel. So we're going to be doing that sometime here in the near future,
Yeah.
trying to be able to grow that a little bit more. But Don, we definitely appreciate you coming on and opening our eyes to people that have autism, and we deeply appreciate what you do, um, and we support you. And if we can do anything else just let us know, and we will do our best to fill up that garage here come ICAST.
Exactly.
I
And
appreciate
yeah, if you're
I
watching it,
appreciate you guys having me on for sure.
yeah,
And the biggest thing, I always ask anybody. People say, what can we? This thing is sharing what we do, because growth is our biggest thing. And I'm your newest subscriber on YouTube. Too.
awesome.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, Don, thank you. It's
Yeah,
been a pleasure, man. Looking forward to seeing you down there in July and getting a chance to talk to you a little bit once we get down there. And also getting back to the drive, the donation drive. If you have any friends that might not see this podcast, mention it to them too. So let's get as many people involved as we can
that's right.
to try to help out. So, but Don, again, thank you, brother, and thank you for
Yeah,
what you
and
do.
you've got about 15 people commented saying thanks, Don, for coming on and giving information out and stuff like that. So they uh, and it's just I got and it just I had about four more people. My dad just put thanks, Don, for all you do. So
Yeah,
we do want you to know that you are very appreciative in
yeah,
what you do. So.
yes, sir.
Thank
Uh,
you so much.
But guys, remember to check it out next week. But do us a favor, share this podcast to where it's going to just grow out because we definitely do want to be able to. I mean, it wouldn't hurt my feelings, Norman, if we had to take your truck, pull in your boat, and then take my truck back down to ICAST. It would not hurt my feelings if we had that
No,
much stuff.
no, exactly, man. We'll fill the boat and truck up. We'll fill a couple vehicles up and haul them all down there if we had to.
Yeah, if we have to, we're
Awesome.
so. But again, check out next week. It's going to be a great episode. You will not want to miss it. This has been a great episode today, Don, and we thank you. And guys, we'll see you next week. We hope you live the passion.
Tight lines, guys.
See you guys.